Welcome back to Hours Blanks, and today it's snowing outside, which means that I have to get this thing running. Let's see what we can do. I dug out my snowblower here, and let's talk about a couple things. One, snowblowers are generally hard to prepare for storage, and the reason I say is because you just don't know when the snow is going to stop. You can have one snowfall, at least in the Northeast here, you can have one snowfall in November, nothing, then you put it away thinking that you absolutely will have another one again, and then it turns out you don't. Or like for us last year, we had no snow that it needed or that warranted the snowblower. So it's difficult. And one thing you have to worry about when storing these things is the gas. So they make this product called Stabil. If you haven't heard of it already, but Stable or Stabil, however you want to call it. Basically, you measure out. I'll put a link in the description, but you measure out how much gas you would think is in the tank, and it's just an additive that keeps it from going bad on you. The thing with gas going bad is that it starts to gel up a little bit, and that could cause issues with your carburetor pickup or your jets in the carburetor. It gets clogged, and then it's not going to run. So that's absolutely one thing that you want to do. Some people say that you should fill this tank all the way up and then put the Stabil in. Some people say you should run it down, and the reason to fill it up is that there's nowhere for condensation or limited access for any condensation to build up. Some people say you drain it all the way down because you just don't want the gas in there. What I generally tend to do is put the Stabil in and let it run for a little bit. If I only have a little bit of gas left, I'll put this Stable or Stabil in and let it run till it's pretty much out. If there's a fuel shut off, I'll go ahead and do that as well. Let it run out of the carburetor. I don't think there's one on here. I could be wrong. I don't remember. But basically, yeah, you just want to make sure that the fuel doesn't necessarily stay in the carburetor. Now, if you haven't done that, your best bet is to find a fuel line coming from this fuel tank, which is here. Find it going to the carburetor and take it out, drain tank. Or you can just pop this open, take a turkey baster, drain as much as you can out of this thing. That would be your best bet, and then fill it up with fresh gas. Kind of dilutes whatever's in there. You have more fresh gas than bad gas, and that'll help you there. Also, I know on this side here, we have the carburetor. So these newer ones, they tend to cover most stuff up, but if you look under here, this is the Troy-Bilt 208cc, and as you'll see, this right here is your carburetor. It's the bottom half of it. It's the bowl of the carburetor. If you were to take this nut off, the whole bowl comes off. They did actually add a little drain plug here. I'm actually going to go ahead and take that off just to make sure there's nothing in there, and then when it fills up, it'll fill up with gas, good gas that we put in. I did empty my tank, which is surprising for me, just to be honest. Usually I either fall into that category of not prepping it the way I should, and thank God I did, because it was sitting for 2 years instead of just one. And but yeah, so let's take the bottom of this out, this drain plug here, and see if there's anything in there. Then we'll fill it up with fresh gas, and we'll see if we can get this going. I made a little catch can here. Let's take this off. 10 millimeter. Let's see if we can. Can's a little too big. I just tightened it. There you go. And we got nothing. So I did a pretty good job. If there was any gas in there, it would have came out. There was a little bit. It's on my fingers. So that's good. Put this back in. Good. Tighten it up. All right. Very good. So now that we know that there's no gas in here, there's no gas left in the carburetor, let's fill it up with gas. I do have the option for an electric start here. I also have some starting fluid if need be. So let's just try to plug it in. We'll fill up some gas, try to plug it in, see if we can get the electric start to kick it over. Oh, gas everywhere. If you guys are ever in the market for a gas can, buy the one that drains from the bottom with the hose and the cutoff switch. Definitely prevents what just happened there. Alright, so we got a plug here. Plug her in. Make sure our key turns it fast. With these keys, just make sure it's caught me once before. It looked like it was in, wasn't all the way in, or I had to give it a little jolt there. Turn the choke on, prime it. It says 3 times. I'm gonna prime it till I can feel a little bit of gas come in. We did run out of gas, so let's see. Oh, that's nice. Nice sound. Next choke. Make sure my key goes in. Too fast. I also forgot to mention that this is the Troy-Bilt Storm 2410. However, this tips and tricks would work for anything, especially like things like generators where you just don't know when you would use them. You don't know when your power is going to go out. So if you have a generator that you don't use all the time, it's also something to keep in mind if it's been sitting for a while. With this, and a lot of this is covered up. They put a lot of plastic on it, but honestly, if you were to just take a couple bolts off here, this whole front face would come off, and then you would see this is obviously the cylinder head here. The carburetor's attached to that, air cleaner's attached to that. Fuel lines would be going from here to the carburetor. If there was a fuel shutoff switch, there is not one on this, but if there was one, you would see that line and then the fuel shutoff switch attached to that. My generator has one, but this does not look like has one that's accessible. Anyway, you can usually find the cylinder head by where the spark plug goes. So you see here, this is the spark plug. Something you do want to check, depending on how often you use it. You want to keep an eye on that. That's always something that is a maintenance thing where you would replace, but not as often as a lot of other things. Also, fuel level, which I mentioned, we did check. That's good. So everything here is good to go. Let's go ahead and start snowballing. And there you have it, guys. Just went out, did our job. You're good to go. Nice clear driveway now. I do want to mention one other thing. You do want to always check your oil level. I did check that before I started it up. And that's it. That's all you really have to do to make sure that you don't gum up your carburetors, your jets in the carburetor. Make sure this thing's always running. And even if you do mess up, there was some preventative tricks there to make sure that you don't make it any worse than what it is. If you liked the video, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. It really helps us out. Comment below if you have any other tips or anything that I did wrong. Other than that, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.